The Greens' position is getting a bit ridiculous now, would you agree? I mean, I know they're holding out on supporting this future fund, this housing future fund. They want rent control. None of the state premiers are going to do that. The states are in control of it, and the Greens are still complaining. I mean, what's happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Laura. I think that, look, obviously the Greens have their own position and that's their philosophy. But I think if you get down to the grassroots level and talk to the people, talk to those who are needing homes, talk to the builders, talk to the developers, talk to the financiers who's going to finance all of this, talk to all of that to see how viable what they're demanding, in terms of for the government to do. And I understand, yes, we need to ensure that there is affordable rent. 42% of the people in Fowler rent. So I actually feel that pain for my community here, and I understand the need to reduce, make it affordable. However, to make it affordable, we have to have the supply, and to have the supply, we need to actually make sure that their local government and state premiers are having a plan in place to work with developers to ensure that these housing stock will be built and can be delivered for the community. And so the more that we spend talking, having these big conferences and gathering and talking about the problem, we know the problem. We just need a solution. Let's do some sort of incubation, which I'm looking at doing out here in Fowler, and been talking to local stakeholders to see how we can address this without having to wait for a piece of legislation or the debate that, our esteemed politicians have been elected to do. Instead of waiting for some kind of solution from a piece of legislation, I think it's best to work at the ground level, talk to those who actually know the cost of building, know what needs to be done, and all of that stuff.
Well, look, there's an incentive here for councils too, and really when you get down to it, they're less accountable councils, but they're the ones that need to pull their fingers out. But look, we're running out of time, and I do want to talk to you about the Matildas, because I am totally on this bandwagon. This revolution that we've seen, this mania across the country, is just so incredible to see. We need to keep it going. Let's stay on the bandwagon between, World Cups and Olympic Games. And now we've got people like Peter Dutton talking about the need to fund grassroots sport. What do you think? And what are you seeing in your community?
Look, I think, at the local level, I know that we have, local council have built more change rooms for girls, for women's sports. So therefore, I think that we acknowledge now that there are more young girls and more women in this kind of, previously male sports. So it's great to have those kind of infrastructure. And I think watching the Matildas will give the next generation, especially the young girls, and especially for me, from our community, the migrant communities here who are very much into soccer out here. We are a soccer community. The belief that they can also make it. So, to have the World Cup here and the Matildas set history, really, having the World Cup played here in our own backyard, which is a wonderful achievement. Despite the loss last night, it was disappointing, but that terrific goal there, I thought, oh my God, we can of course not, but unfortunately, I'm sure they will continue on. There's another few games coming up, so I'm sure that they'll continue to give their best.